They said, sure, because I always wanted to be a DJ. When I was in high school, I'd be doing my homework. I had my little stereo next to me. And in between homework, or in between doing stuff, I'd pick up the needle, and I'd drop it down, and I'd introduce the artist. So from high school, I always wanted to do that.
Right, right.
So I asked my parents, and they said, okay. And
What was your first job in radio?
first job was in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. It was Waxy 106, which is no longer. I was known as, at that time, was an automation operator because the station wasn't live. And I just sat there and monitored it to make sure that everything ran properly. And then I think one time they let me do the weather. I had my big break. I did the weather. And that was it. That was the start of it. And then from there, I went to North Carolina. From North Carolina to New Mexico, to Texas, and back out to San Diego, where I am now.
Physically, what were you playing? Records?
Yeah, they were 45s back then. So 45s, and your commercials are recorded on what was a cart, and you have these certain machines for that.
And you had to switch the cards with each commercial.
Right, because if you had, a lot of times you had 2 or 3 cart machines, and you'd have 5 or 6 commercials. So when one ended, you'd have to put the next one in, and back then you would start them yourself. You'd press the button, remote button, and it would play. Nowadays, it's all
right. You don't even worry.
You don't do anything.
Right, you don't do anything.
Yeah, you just put it on manual, and it'll just run through them all. On auto, and it just runs through them all. We were using.
Do you remember the first time or the first show that you actually spoke to the people over the air?
Kind of. I do remember when I first got my first real, well, it wasn't the first one. Yeah, it was the first real radio job that I had where I wasn't just a board operator or automation operator or someone who just did the weather every once in a while. That was in Roswell, New Mexico, and I was working the night shift, and I got in there, and I hear the jock on the air go, make sure you're listening for our new voice, Gary Lee. And I said, oh, man. So I go in there and I say, Gary Leventhal. When I opened up my mic, I said, it's Gary Leventhal. And when I got done, my program director was standing behind me, and he said, how would you like to go by the name Gary Lee? I said, okay. Now it made sense why they did that, but they didn't ask me first.
Oh.
They already had it that this is.
So it wasn't your decision to change?
No, it wasn't my decision, no.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't sure if I wanted it, because, I didn't know if I wanted to change my name. But then I thought about it, and I said, it's kind of nice, the anonymity about it. I piss somebody off, they're not going to know where to find me.
That's true. That's true.
So, and I've had that ever since.